welcome to this video where we will talk about failure and how to move past it. I have had two main failures that have made me re-question everything about my life. But I know I'm not the only person in the world who has failed. Actually, I'm sure that those of you who are listening to me, you have a list of things that we all love to call failure. And that is exactly why I have called this video, I Failed, Now What? What's next? How do we turn it around? And who do we become after that horrible, heavy failure? Now, failure is one of those mental programs that we also have installed in our neurology. And in this video, I'm going to share with you which are those programs that can generate more and more failures in a loop and how to reverse the interpretation of these facts. So stay until the end because, as you know, I will give you at least a couple of super useful tips to change those disappointments. And remember to subscribe to this channel so that you continue seeing more and more content on how to program yourself for success. So let's get started with this subject. What programs are behind failure? Well, first of all, I'm going to be using this word a lot. So I propose to stretch it a little bit. You can call it as you want. You can call it failure, fiasco, disappointment, anything, okay? The point is that we are talking about a result that was not what we were expecting. We have an idea, something that we call a blueprint or a map of how things should be. And suddenly, life brings us something different, disappointing, and loaded with a lot of pain and suffering. Now, the problem with bad experiences is that they can become repetitive if we don't know how to act consciously and to make the necessary changes so that they don't become a loop. Now, failure comes with a very valuable, important piece of information for you to grow. And if you allow yourself to analyze it with strength, you will see how you can actually get the most out of that experience. Now, I allow myself in this video to tell you about my experiences, to set them as examples. Now, as I told you at the beginning of the video, there are two things in my life that, to be honest, I was super sure they would go well. I never imagined they would go so wrong, and even less that they would help me so much in the future to better align myself and to be more authentic. Now, the first one was a divorce. If you've been through this, you know the feeling. For those of you who haven't, imagine what it's like to separate from the person you thought you were going to grow up with and to share your entire life with. In a marriage, the map is very clear. The emotions, the memories, the expectations, and the promises are very high. And therefore, detaching and rebuilding can be very difficult. Now, in my divorce experience, what affected me the most was the fact that I lost a lot of confidence in myself and in my ability to discern. Now, therefore, these were two important pieces of information that life was shouting at me. Like, these are the things you should be working on in order to rebuild. Now, the second thing I failed, and quite badly as well, was investing in a very young and unsound franchise. If you have lost money in your life, then you also know what this is about. For those of you who haven't, imagine what it's like to put all your energy, all your time, and if not all your money, a lot of it, into something that doesn't work. Invest in something that goes so wrong that you were actually counting to be the opposite, creating a lot of value and capitalizing your money, and that doesn't happen. Now, this experience is really horrible and it's super emotional. Every money issue is super sensitive. And actually, it can make us get stuck and continue to lose money if we don't move quickly. Now, what caused me the most in this experience was accepting the fact that I trusted too quickly in a concept, in a franchise, in a brand, and that I put my money into this brand instead of continuing investing in myself and in my brand. So again, two pieces of information that were super useful for me to start again. Apart from my own experiences, I have lived closely with my clients processes of layoff, unsuccessful businesses, careers and jobs that are not fulfilling, harsh work environments, bad bosses, management changes and destructive corporate structure, burnout, and many other things that involve pain and difficulties in an emotional level. And we used to call all of them failure or bad luck. Now, if you identify with any of these, I invite you to call it something else from now on, because anything that seems external takes away our power to analyze and correct, and therefore to grow and rebuild. Now, if not only you identify with any of these experiences, but you've also experienced them several times, it is possible that you have installed some mental program of failure in your subconscious mind, obviously, and that you're repeating it unconsciously. Here are 3 tips to rebuild calmly and with more alignment. Now, the first thing, identify the programs that leave you stuck in the failure loop. So let's get started with the linguistic programs. So how do you talk to yourself when you're going through this experience? Now, if you use expressions like, this always happens to me, here we go again, I'm sure it will happen to me again, you are programming yourself to repeat them automatically. Now, the other thing is that if you blame external factors such as company, the government, the people, the economic situation, or anything, you don't allow yourself to see where you are responsible for the results that you had. And I can assure you that it will also repeat once again, because you're giving the control of the situation to somebody else or to something else. Second tip, identify the resources that the experience brings you. Just as I identify the most difficult things in my experiences, you can also identify what is the most difficult in yours. Because it's right there in the most difficult part where we have this invaluable resource. That information that can give you back the control and the actual true gift of life. Now, in my case, as I told you before, my divorce helped me to know myself better, to respect myself more, and to allow to be more myself. Losing money allowed me to be more selective, to be more careful about my investments, and to encourage me to actually spend my time and my energy in my own brand, to create videos and audios like this one, for instance. So have a look at this. Now, and the third tip for you is change the scarcity programs associated with fear of failure. Failure can leave us a very big void and zero desire to start again. And then some scarcity programs can be installed. For instance, we say things like, I will not invest in anything anymore. Or what if I lose money again? What if I change jobs and I don't like it? What if I get an even worse boss? Or I don't want to have ever again another business partner. These are scarcity language or linguistic programs, and they only talk about fear. So change them. Why not try something different, like, what if I invest and I double my income? Or what if I change jobs and this job is 3 times better than my current job? Or now with this business partner, I will do very well. Change it. So to conclude, in life, nothing is guaranteed. The things turn good or bad do not depend on life itself. They depend on the interpretation that you give to each thing. So allow yourself to start over, to rebuild, but use the resources that the past experience leaves you with the learning outcome and the growth space that you have there. And I can guarantee you something. If you do this consciously, the next experience will never be the same. It cannot be the same. It will be richer and much better in many aspects. I hope this is useful, and I send you a big kiss to all of you. And of course, I'll be seeing you in another video for more information to continue programming for success.